ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to City Skylines Mass Transit! I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I am certainly excited to be back here in the beautiful city of Nerdshire, where things are going pretty darn well indeed. We're back up over $4 million. We got 90,000 people living in here, and I made one small change between the previous episode and this one, and that is to this area just down here. I went ahead and built up the quays a little bit down here so we can have this as a proper little river going through. The point of today's episode is going to be to go ahead and fill up a lot of this space up here. Probably going to bring the quays around a little bit. Probably going to straighten out this edge between these two ends of the quays here so we can make this a little bit more even, get the water flowing a little bit better. That's also going to make it easier for me to actually get buildings along this waterfront. So the first thing to do will be get rid of that bit of quay and that bit as well, so that we can go ahead and just flatten the land a little bit and sort of bring it along like this. Now, I don't want it to be perfectly flat. That's not really what I'm going for. Also, what I'll mention as well, I guess, is that I might sound a bit different today, just slightly compared to the last couple of episodes. That's because I'm using the headset microphone that I think I'd mentioned in previous episode. I know I've used it for a couple of episodes of City Skylines here and there. I just feel like using it. I go back and forth between the two microphones that I use. I usually try my best to stick with the main microphone that I have for videos, but from time to time I just decide to swap it up for the headset one, because it means I don't have a big old microphone in my face. And it's just a mood thing. You know, sometimes my mood's like, yo, I don't really want a big old microphone in my face. So that's the kind of mood I'm in today, it seems. So let's go ahead and just get this all straightened up. We are going to have some issues with flooding around here, but we do have the pump trucks, so they'll be able to deal with that without too much issue. And if we just bring this out a little bit further, I think what I'm going to go ahead and try and do is bring this sort of around a little bit like... Oh, come on, work with me here. Let's see, can we just go like straight across here? We absolutely can. That is beautiful right there. Look at that. Nice big stretch of a straight quay. Makes me very happy indeed. That little curve is perfectly fine. A little bit sharp, but not too much of a big deal. This right here. Oh, if that worked, it would have been beautiful. But apparently it is not to be. Come on, work with me. Let's bring that land out a little bit. Let's just bring it out a teeny tiny little bit, and let's hope. Let's hope, ladies and gentlemen. It just doesn't want to be. It just doesn't want to. Come on. Come on, City Skylines. You got this. Oh, that'll work though. Okay, that's a bit weird. Alright, let's see if we can just sort of bring that to that point and like that. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. Nice big stretch of quay down there. We got plenty of room to expand into with the city here. We have a fair bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Commercial demand. So this, I'm looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and bring a stretch of avenue off of here to start with. Do I have any snapping turned off? I do not. Alright, nice big stretch of avenue is going to come off of there. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is swap that up for this type of avenue for just a second. Because what I want to try and... I want to try and see if we can maybe, just maybe, get a bit of an angle going through here. Because one of the big complaints people like to bring up all the time with this city is that it's all one big grid. And the thing is, you're not wrong. The city is all one big grid. So if I can do something like this, you know, something that's a little bit interesting, perhaps. I mean, this right here might need to be changed a little bit. For the time being, you know, that to me, right there looks a little bit interesting. I think it's kind of cool. Yes, it all links up to this one stretch of avenue here. But if I could maybe, just maybe, you know, do something like this. Bring that out a little bit that way. Bring it over that way a little bit. Maybe we turn off road guidelines so it works properly. Something like that. That, to me, looks kind of interesting, if I'm honest. And I like that. Now that, interestingly, doesn't meet right in the middle, which is kind of annoying. So what we're going to try here is bringing this straight up. Oh, we can't do that. All right, bulldoze those for a second. Bring this straight up through there. That should connect to that point, and this should connect in exactly the same place, but it doesn't want to, which is very strange. Huh. Okay. That, by all means, should be connecting in the same place, but doesn't want to. Let's bring you up that way. Let's bring you up that way a little bit, and just flip that around so we can get it going the same way. And what we need to do is get this to connect at the same angle, but it doesn't really... Oh, that works. Okay, so those not connect in the same place. What we'll do is bring that all back. This goes straight to there, and that goes straight to there. And that right there is what I'm kind of looking for. I don't want these bits here, not just yet. But I just wanted that little bit in the middle, because I can go ahead and delete those two bits. I can make sure these are the same length, which 480 and 480, they are. And we can go ahead and put a little curve in there. If I turn road guidelines back on, which I didn't do. So a little curve like that. Just right there. And I like that, you know? It's something a little bit different for that area. And it doesn't obviously follow the curve of this perfectly over here, but it is something a bit different. It is something I kind of like. It follows down this way quite nicely. I mean, I can make this work. What we can even go so far as to do is bring that out a little bit. Say 20 units, even 10 units would do the job. So if this just comes out, you know, 10 units that way, this comes down. Oh, that's almost perfect. That is almost perfect. Could I get that to line up without having that little bit coming out? Oh, I absolutely could. There we go. Look at that. So that lines up beautifully with this bridge. And I really like that. I really, really like that. As for this bit over here, I'm not really sure what the plan's gonna be here. I didn't really think about that. But I like what we got going there. And I like that it doesn't perfectly follow the key. I think that's just gonna look a little bit more interesting, rather than just going with the usual sort of, hey, everything's parallel. I just want to make this area a little bit different. I want to try and make this particular episode one where we're just going, hey, let's change up the old thing that we've been doing this whole time. So let's go ahead and bring one of these roads out like that. And what I'll do is sort of bring it at that angle. We'll come off like that, roughly. And let's see if we can get these to link together. I think that'd be really nice. So something just sort of like... Let's see. It's lining up in a pretty odd way. I think that's roughly where I want to be. Yeah, just something kind of like that. Very basic, very simple, but it does the job. And I like that. All right, so that's going to be the main set of roads going through this area. Bit of a sharp turn there. I wonder, could I perhaps make that a little bit nicer if we were to do that sort of thing? I think that works. I do think that works. What we could even go ahead and do is maybe upgrade some of these roads. So this main one coming through here, I'm actually going to turn it into a 6-lane road. Just so this lane on the right here will turn to the left, because previously it was only going to go to the right. This road up here is going to be getting trees on it as well. So just a run like that. And I like the idea of this entire stretch of road having trees on it down to about there. And I'm thinking we're actually going to do the same with this bit as well. And then that's going to be... this bit's going to be upgraded too. So just something like that to make the area a little bit fancier, a little bit nicer, so people can enjoy it, enjoy their time here. You know, just looks nicer. That's what we're going for. Anyway, at this point, the job is going to be going ahead and getting plenty of zoning in here. That is something I absolutely want. So we're going to begin right about here. And we're going to turn off grid snapping. So this is going to go as close to the key as we can possibly get it. And basically my job is going to be very similar to what we did in the industrial area. We're just going to have all these little roads dead end right at the key. And I think it's going to look really, really good. Yes, that's going to create a lot of traffic on this road, potentially. But if I set it to a priority road, that shouldn't be an issue. Speaking of which, did I do that? over here, or does that... No, that has a lot of intersections. So what we may need to do is go in here, select this road, and say priority road. And that actually didn't really do anything. Okay, what we'll do instead is just go to junctions and say no traffic lights, no traffic lights. Traffic lights are probably fine there, but none there. Or there. Or pretty much anywhere along this road. The turns for the, like, these bits here are fine having traffic lights. But I don't want too many of them. So what we'll do is set the little side roads to have stop signs. Just so traffic can flow a little bit better around here. I think that's going to be a pretty good move. So just stop signs at all of those little junctions, there and there as well. And that is fine by me. I think we'll do the same just here as well. And then I will actually turn traffic lights on there, because I think that's going to be a good idea. Because they're on down here. Kind of makes sense. So that should do the job there. What I want to do is come over here and do similar. So with all of the... Actually, we'll do it after. There's no point doing it right now because we need to finish all of these roads. So that's going to be one heck of a junction there, but we should be able to make that work. That's going to have a slight overlap. Can I get rid of that slight overlap, I wonder? Come on, cities. I can see it. It's thinking about it. What if I start there? Oh, no, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, hello. No, that's not going to work. That's a shame. All right, what we'll do is bring this up. It's going to leave a little gap of 2 between there, but that's kind of okay. We can probably make that work. I mean, that could connect over to there if I wanted it to. I don't think any of those are going to connect. I think what we'll do here is put in some paths, perhaps. Ooh, we could actually have a little... If we put a cable car in there, which are there, if we had like a cable car end stop there, it doesn't fit perfectly, but we could have cable cars run all the way out to this island for whatever reason. This could be like another tourism island out here, and I actually really like that idea, so that might be something we have to go ahead and do. Ooh, oh, that is tempting right there. But for the meantime, let's just go ahead and turn off road guidelines and get the rest of these roads out to the edge here. So that's going to come out to at that point. And what we'll do is just bring this out like that as well. And we'll do something like that just to get a little bit more zoning going there. Oh, that connects beautifully. Look at that. You know, we could put some roads along this, actually. No, I don't think that looks good. I think that looks fine, but the rest of it not so much. This'll do at the end there. A little bit ugly, but whatever. So, this space over here is going to be a very similar story. We can go ahead and we can do that sort of thing. I think, actually, I'd like some buildings sort of along the train line rather than just a road along the train line. I think that's going to look a bit better to sort of hide the train line. What we can even go ahead and do is bring that across. It doesn't really work perfectly, though. So maybe we won't do that. Maybe what we'll do is... Oh, that's being a bit weird. We'll bring this to about that point, and we'll have some little pathways connect those two spaces. And that should be fine. So we'll just start bringing some... stuff through like this. Get a bunch of zoning along the keys, as we always do. Leave a little gap there. We can put a nice big park in there, possibly. That one would look quite good, I think. What about the giant one? Oh, hold on. Did that... Oh! Oh, that's beautiful. That is perfect right there. Okay, that makes me very happy indeed. Oh, I just did it again! I just did the thing that I mentioned last time. That makes me very happy indeed. Yes. Oh, God. Someone commented saying I sounded like Stewie Griffin. I don't know. Part of my brain at the moment is thinking, hey, why don't you try a Stewie Griffin impression? But I don't think that's going to be a very good idea. That was terrible. That was actually terrible. There you go. There you go. Oh man, that's something I'm not going to be doing again. That's slightly embarrassing right there. Let's just go ahead and get that road out of there for a second. We'll have some overlap in the zoning here if we can. I don't know if that's going to be possible though. What if we just did that kind of thing? We just did that. It's a bit weird, but it gives us some zoning. What if we just sort of connect these in a weird way? So bring that over to there, bring that out to this. So not really like that. That's going to look terrible. These guys are going to be connected like that, so we can actually get some zoning right on the edge there. And I think what we'll do is actually the same here. So there is going to be a road along there. That's not going to look amazing, but it's going to have to do the job. Those are going to be connected too. Because then what I can do is bring this down and that... Oh, I don't like that though. No, I don't like that. I like having, you know, zoning on the edges rather than roads. For some reason we're using grass-lined roads as well. Not really sure where that came from, but there you go. We'll sort of do the same here. We'll go for a bit of a curved road. So something kind of like that. We'll leave that space sort of green there. I think that's probably fine. Then this corner here, what we'll do is just go like this, I guess. So that's going to go right to the edge. This is going to come down. Maybe at a bit of an angle. Something kind of like that. And we'll bring this in just a little bit like that. Again, bit messy, but I think it'll work. I think that's going to look really, really good once the buildings get in there. As for this stretch here, I think I might go ahead and make that like a pedestrian area, so some pathways could go in there, I think. So if we just tear out a lot of these trees, I'll put some pedestrian paths in there. I will put some buildings along this avenue, so there will be buildings there, but I think some pedestrian paths could look really nice there. So if we go ahead off of, say, there, with a little path, we'll bring it down like this, right along the edge of the water, and we'll connect it to there, I think. And what we'll also do is bring some connections out like this. And I think that'll be nice. I do think that'll be nice. We could get a little connection over here as well if we wanted to. I think that might be a good idea. Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll get some trees in there and that'll look really, really nice at some point. So what I'm going to go ahead and do before I start fully zoning this is I'm going to go ahead and obviously throw in a lot of the pipes that we're going to need in this area. That's going to be a very important thing. But what we're also going to go ahead and do is start zoning around the edges once I'm done with the pipes. Because there's not a lot of point in zoning this entire area in one go. Because what will end up happening is we will just be sat there waiting for a really long time for it to build. Which is, you might have noticed this entire episode I've been trying my best to keep the game running while I'm doing all of this construction. That's simply because last time with the suburbs that we built, I zoned a lot of stuff. And in doing that, you run into a situation where the game is just, you know, filling up all of that space and not really doing anything interesting. So what I've decided to do is try my best to keep the game running whilst all of that's going on. Because it means that, you know, I can keep building, the areas keep getting filled up, and it's just generally a better practice than what I've been doing with pausing the game every time I decide to do something. Unless the thing I'm deciding to do is going to, like, break the game temporarily and cause major issues in my city, in which case, yeah, I'll go ahead and pause it. But for the most part, I don't really do that unless it's to do with sewage treatment, which killed, like, 20,000 people last time. But, you know, that's in the past. That's water under the bridge at this point. Anyway, let's get started with some zoning. What I'll do is I'll throw in some, I'm gonna throw some offices over here to get us started with. Because I think that'll be a pretty nice little thing to have in there. So that area will get built up, hopefully quite quickly. And we'll go ahead and zone along these main stretches of avenue here. So that we can, you know, get some people moving along those. I am going to need to go through in a second and set all of the traffic lights, which is just going to be so exciting. But, you know, that's City Skylines for you. That's it's an important part of city building, important part of city management. I do think I will let some people live in this area as well. I think that'll probably be a pretty good idea, just to keep the various districts, you know, all set up in decent ways. I think this right here is going to keep traffic lights, actually. This right here isn't. But I do like to make sure I have a nice mix of zoning in my various districts. That one cannot have traffic lights. I like to keep that mix for the simple reason that it means people living in the district won't necessarily have to travel as far if they want to do some shopping. They won't have to go far if they want to do some working, some office stuff, whatever they want to do. They won't have to go too far to get it done. So that's my reasoning for, you know, going for the mixed zoning as opposed to trying to keep everything in its own district. And that's something, it took me a really long time to start doing that in this game as well. Like, it was a really long time before I would start mixing zoning a lot. Like this city, if we have a look, you know, it's pretty mixed. There's a lot of office work. You can't see the commercial or residential as much because it's, you know, darker colors and all that, but there's a lot of just mixed stuff. Like if we look at the districts, or even just over here, there's a couple of people living down here, a lot of offices, some commercial in there. It generally sort of works. I mean, it's all good me saying, hey, this idea is really good. The evidence would say otherwise in terms of traffic management. And that is still something I'm going to get back to. There's a couple of comments about it every time, every episode. A lot of people saying, hey, your traffic management is so bad, what are you going to do about it? I will eventually deal with traffic management. I also realize there's no firefighters out here. We might want to get some fire coverage out this way, so, let's just throw a fire department, like, there. And maybe, I mean, policing's fine. Medical, probably not so much. So maybe a little medical clinic just down here at the end. So that'll hopefully do some good for that area and look after them a little bit. As for this space over here, it is gonna take a really long time to build up. There wasn't that much demand for all the stuff that I was talking about. But we'll go ahead and start filling up some of this space too, just here, because I want to see that area get built up really nicely. I think just generally speaking, along a lot of the main roads, we'll have commercial stuff, and then a little bit further back, I think, is where we're gonna go for residential. I think residential sort of along those back bits is gonna be much, much nicer than you know, having it front and center on the avenues. Basically doing it the way I've done it in a lot of other areas. You know, residential is hidden away from the avenues is basically what we're going to go for. So hopefully we can see this area build up soon. I think in the meantime, what I'd like to do is get some buses going around here. So what we'll do is... Oh, that's going to be tricky, actually. I wanted to meet it with that stop. Actually, I can meet over here. So we're going to have a bus line that comes in like this. Goes down to there. And then starts coming up along this way. So the next stop, I think, can be there. We're going to space them out a little bit more than I usually do. Just because people will walk a considerable distance to get to a bus if it's going to help them out a little bit. We'll bring that into there. And then I just want to bring it back to that point. The reason for that being quite simple, they can merge onto that bus line there if they want to. And that'll hopefully let people get about the city quite nicely. We could have a bus line that goes straight back to, you know, one of the central stations, but this central station is already remarkably busy. A lot of people go through here every single week. A lot of people go through every single day as well. Same with the airport, same with the train station, just a lot of busy public transport. Which I like to see, don't get me wrong, I love seeing public transport in the city really, really busy. Oh, that reminds me, people have been asking about the international airport. We will get to that eventually. I may very well renovate Airport Island at some point to have the international airport here. But I'm also considering maybe we throw it like way out here and have some like country roads going out to it, or way up here or something. What is that? It's a weird little bit of terrain. But we could throw it way up there, just way out of the city. I think that could be kind of interesting to see if anyone will actually travel to or from the international airport. I would doubt it, because it would be so far away. It would just make sense to go for the standard sort of domestic municipal airport, but we'll see, I suppose. Anyway, we have a bit of demand for residential zoning. Let's go ahead and start filling up some of this space to get people living in here. So up to about there, we should see some apartments pop up. I am really looking forward to seeing this area get finished. I think that's going to look really, really good when it does. But I think I will start with this space in here. So I'm kind of thinking we just do this sort of thing, to be honest. So we just sort of have these roads come off at that point. Alternatively, I mean, we could bring that sort of straight off, and well, we can't really bring it straight off of there, which is unfortunate. But we could, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this would be. If I bring that off of there, roughly, and that off of, I don't know, there-ish, something like that. It's not perfect. It's not central either, so what I think I'll try and do is just get this to be... Oh, come on, work with me. Something like that, basically. Just something that kind of goes up through the middle of that area. Then, sort of off of each road, if I could get this to work, that'd be beautiful. Not quite perfect, but honestly, I think it'll do the job. I think that'll... that looks horrible, so let's not do that bit. But that'll do the job. That's just gonna be another little, like, commercial hub right there. I just want to get dense zoning in here. You know, I just want to make it look really... I don't like that at all, no. No, that's horrible. Straight up horrible right there. Better idea. 10 and 10. Road guidelines on. And a little curve. Alright. And then, say 5 off of there, and 5 off of there, and another little curve. Much better. Much better than that monstrosity that I constructed before. I don't know why I didn't think of this initially, but there you go. Much better. That's gonna look much, much better. Population's actually dropping, interestingly. Are we having problems anywhere? Or are people just like, yeah, I'm out? Ooh. Oh, I thought that was fire. No, that's just some very, very... sort of Spanish-looking houses? They're very... They are kind of... Mediterranean look? I don't know, Spanish-ish? Mediterranean-ish? Cuban-ish? I don't know. They look really, like, when I say weird, they look weird next to, like, this and this. And this as well. Very weird choice of house style. Same with that one, sort of. Oh, wow. No, you know what? Never mind. Let's, this one too. Bit odd looking, is all I'm saying. Definitely a little bit odd looking. We actually do have more demand for residential zoning, which is really good to see. So we're going to go ahead and just cram a bit more of it into those two spaces. A bit more demand for industrial zoning as well, which I'm going to interpret as office zoning. So we'll cram a little bit of that into some of these spaces here. We'll reserve a lot of the space right along the water for residential stuff. But a bit more office stuff in there could be really good. We could even go ahead and throw some parking lots in just to boost the land value, basically. I was going to say leisure or whatever, but no, it is just going to straight up boost the land value because these are parks, technically. Is there anywhere I could specifically put them, though? Anywhere that's not going to massively disrupt the way the zoning looks in the area would be preferable. There is a pretty good spot for a parking lot. Where else could we go? There? Possibly? Nah, maybe. Maybe not. There's pretty good. It's a bit of a weird zone that would have been there anyway. A couple of parking lots like that. Just to, you know, boost the value of the area, because I don't think the water would actually boost it itself. And I realized I was talking about putting a bridge going over there. Huh. This road here is probably going to get turned into an avenue at some point, which will be a bridge going across that water. So that's going to be deleted just so I remember to do that. Yeah, that was my mistake right there. I really totally... Actually, hold up. Let's do this and let's do it immediately so I don't forget to do it later. Because if I don't do it now, I will probably never do it. Let's be honest. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know there's been a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, we'll do it some other time. And then like 10 episodes later, it's like, hey, you remember that thing you said you were going to do? Yeah. You didn't do it. So that was apparent. Was that my impression of me, or was that just me being, I don't know. Either way, bridge like that, methinks. Bit weird looking, but whatever. So if we go ahead and turn off road guidelines, we'll bring that down to there. And bring it out like that. So that's just going to let me know that I do want to do some stuff over that way. Also wondering if I could maybe make that bridge look a bit better. No, it's going to have that bump in it. Alright. Bit weird looking, but whatever. Got a fire over there. Quite a few fires over there. Good lord. Yeah, we're going to just... We're just going to let that be a thing. It looks like it's being dealt with anyway. Oh man, I am so happy to see this area filling up. It's also really nice to see people using the little one-way roads here. Even though they can just loop around again if they want to. It's still nice. I still really like it. Big fan of the one-way roads. Oh man, I like this area a lot though. I really do. I want to get some more parks in, I think. Some actual parks this time. Even a Botanical Garden could be nice. Let's throw a Botanical Garden there. I know it's a weird spot for it, but I just, you know, I want to get some cool stuff in there. We could even go ahead and try and get some of the other monuments or some of the unique buildings. We could throw a stadium in here if we wanted to. Some of these are friggin' enormous though. I think at some point I'm gonna have to build a proper stadium area. That's definitely gonna have to be a thing we do. For the time being though, let me see if I can get one of these parks in. That one could be kind of nice. That one could be quite nice. That's the Plaza of the Dead though, isn't it? Yeah. This is the Statue of Shopping. Ooh, Statue of Shopping would kind of make sense like there. So we'll get the Statue of Shopping in. And that'll hopefully cheer everybody up. Because obviously they're miserable. So a little Statue of Shopping just there. We could throw in something like the Transport Tower. That could look pretty neat down here. It could go sort of in the middle of that spot too. You know what? Let's do Transport Tower just there. Right on the water. Bring some paths around it, just as we usually do. Yeah, I like that. I actually really like Transport Tower just there, because it's going to have a beautiful view of the water. It does mess with my plan of bringing some cable cars out to that island, but whatever. We've got the Mall of Moderation. We've got the Posh Mall. Oh, that's tempting. I want to find some proper areas for a lot of this stuff, though. I don't really want to be like, hey, we got a building, let's just throw it in for the sake of it. I want to find a proper area for a lot of this stuff. Like the Grand Library is a beautiful building. I think it would look really good like along this bit of road, but I want to get a proper area for it. I don't want to just be like, hey, we have a thing. So same with like city or the oppression office, same with like the Pyramid of Safety. All of this stuff, like I want to find proper areas for it. Like this thing right here could be really cool sort of in an area like this. Or like along the train lines or something. Even in there would be an interesting spot for it, but I haven't finished this area yet, so I don't want to be throwing just everything in and hoping for the best. I want to at least plan it out a little bit. That's definitely a thing I want to do. I could always throw like a Central Park looking thing in here, but I don't think that would look very good since we actually have got Sheffield Park over here. And I still really love Sheffield Park. I love this little just chunk of green in the middle of the entire sprawling city there. Which could make this look even nicer if we turn it into a Central Park looking thing, but no, I don't think that's a thing I'll do. I think I will go ahead and do this though. That Botanical Garden is going to go, because I've just realized I can totally do this. And that works really well. That'll give me a lot of zoning in that area, which is definitely something we want. We could probably, yeah, we can throw the Botanical back in. So just throw it there. We'll get a bit of office. No, just go with commercial, actually. Just a bit of commercial zoning all along that. Same with this little spot just here. And then I think residential in here. Just because we can, really. As for down here, maybe bring that road a little bit further, a little bit closer. And maybe we'll put some unfortunate souls in there and just let them live along the train line. They're not going to be having a great time, but it's not really my problem, to be honest. Let's see, so that could almost link up there. Unfortunate that it doesn't. Let's just bring these roads out and see how far we can go with them before we have to stop them. So those are going to come out like that. I'm wondering if perhaps I could bring a road off of here. I'm not a huge fan of this idea because it is going to interrupt the flow of traffic along that main avenue, but it would let me connect these straight across, which I'd really like to do. So something sort of like that, I think, is going to do a pretty good job. Because then we can go ahead and just bring these roads straight through as well. And whilst the zoning is going to be a little bit messy in here, it is still that one thing that I want it to be, which is dense. It's definitely dense. As I've said before, much like myself. Ha! Self-deprecating humor. People were really keen to point that out when I made that joke before. Like, I don't know what episode it was, but it was the whole, it was a joke I made. It was like, hey, it's really dense, just like me. Half the comments were like, oh, shade. It's not really. It's self-deprecating humor, man. And then half the comments were just like, oh, self-deprecating humor. Just, you know, throwing that out there. But that right there, I think, is going to be really good. That's just going to get a lot of people living in there, which is what we want. We could throw a parking lot or two in here as well, which I don't think would be a terrible idea. Just a couple at that corner could look, well, terrible. Just being honest. I don't think it looked amazing. But I do think that looks kind of cool. Once we get a district on this, I'll probably turn the district off of the avenues that go around here, just so traffic can flow in an interesting way. But let's go ahead and throw this park just into that spot there. And maybe just there as well. Because that area's not got a lot of leisure at the moment. But I do really like how this is coming along. I really, really do. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is fill up those spots there. And let's just go ahead and get people living on the water at this point. Let's see if we can fill it all up. Make it look beautiful. Make it look like it's lived in. Make it look finished, nearly. I can't really say that I think that's going to happen anytime soon. I think it might be a little while before that actually ends up working out. But what we will do, since we have a lot of money, is I will actually go ahead and throw a central hospital in here. And I think right there could be a really good spot for it. Especially if we go ahead and turn off the zoning there and just do like a little path through there. So people can sort of walk around there. We can put some trees down just to make it look like a bit of a decorated area. Maybe some bushes sort of like that and like that. And maybe just a rock here and there just to make it look kind of interesting too. So something like that. So right by the central hospital, little bit of decoration, a little bit of a park there, plaza, statue of shopping. Plaza of the Dead probably would have been a little bit more interesting there, but will not be that cruel. As for the rest of the area, fire coverage is actually really lacking in this corner of the city. I guess I haven't done any of that in a while. Let's go ahead and throw... Ooh, water problems too. Throw a fire station in there. A full police station behind it. Then again, just a little path here to separate the two of them. Just like that. There we go. So that should give good coverage to that area. Water problems. Oh, you just don't have water. That's all it was. Okay. There we go. So that area has coverage. Elementary school's fine. High school's fine. University's fine. We still don't need to worry about those. Probably because I raised the budget so much way back when. But I have to say, I'm actually quite happy with this bit of development. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am gonna go ahead and leave it there for today. Next time, we'll have a look at this area once it's fully built up. And next time, I mean, what was this? This is part 19, I think? Might very well have been. So next time, we may very well do the first-person tour that I was talking about. We may not. I will see. I did see a couple of people mentioning that it might be an idea to leave the first-person tour until the city's a bit more finished. But, I mean, this is a pretty cool-looking city, if I do say so myself. Like, I'm quite happy with it. It's the most... I mean, it's still very grid-based. It is very much a grid-based city. But I like that I'm conforming it to a lot of these curves. I like that it's not all one grid. Like, a lot of this central bit is all in this one axis. Then over here, it tilts a little bit. Then up here is the most sort of curved bit of the city we have thus far. But I think once that all builds up and a lot of those trees get out of there, that's actually going to look really, really good. So I'm definitely excited to see how this area ends up looking. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do before we wrap things up, just so we get a little bit more time to see that area grow. I'm going to put some bushes in here and then put some trees in just to make this look like a nice little walk for people to go on. And people are already using it as well, which is really nice. I love seeing the Sims just walking along these paths. It really, really looks so good when they do. So we've got some trees just in and around there. And just sort of along there. We'll block some of the view with some trees, but, you know, that's going to be fine. There we go. Just a little something like that, a bit like that. And a little bit there with something like that too. Bulldoze you. And I think that looks all right. I mean, obviously that's not the only thing I'm going to do. I'm going to put some different colored trees in as well, just to spruce things up a little bit. That is a joke, if you think about it. Think about the word spruce. It's a tree joke. You can tell it was a really good joke as well, because I had to explain it. That's how you know a good joke. When someone's like, ha, did you get it? Because this and that, and yeah, trees, yeah, that's how you know it's a good joke. Yeah, just the best humor here. Let's get some rocks along there as well, just to bring a little bit of nature in around this area. I don't know why rocks would actually be there. But actually, no, I know exactly why rocks would be there. At least in the UK, at least, well, not even, like around my town here in Northern Ireland, a lot of the time, because the Giant's Causeway is not far from where I live. It's like a 20-30 minute drive. I don't know how long it is really. But the Giant's Causeway, if you don't know what it is, Google it. It's a pretty cool thing. If you're ever in the area, I encourage you to go and look at it. It's really, really, really beautiful. But it's got these hexagonal basalt columns, and everywhere when it's like decorating like a public space, or it's doing this, or it's doing that, it's always the same. It is always rocks. Like they make their own, because they can't take them from the Giant's Causeway. Many years ago, they were able to take some. The high school I went to had some of them in, one of the fields or near something, I don't remember, but that was at a time when you could take them, or they took them at a time when you could take them and just kept them. But yeah, everywhere when they're doing like decorations in public, it's like, oh, how do we get some rocks in here? And a lot of the time I look at it and go, yeah, that doesn't make sense, because that's the middle of a town that's not on the coast. Why would there be rocks that would belong at the... it's public space decoration gone mad. Like this sort of works because it's right by the water, so hey, rocks. But yeah, maybe maybe not so much here, if we're being honest. Like this is kind of what I'm talking about. What I've done here doesn't make sense, it just looks pretty. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna leave it there for today, this area. I'm really happy with it. It still needs a bit of work, still needs a bit of time to bake and develop and grow. So with that in mind, thank you kindly for watching. This has been City Skylines Mass Transit, Part 19. It's been an absolute pleasure, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!